No, we're actually here to talk about, unfortunately, Olivia Nuzzi, who is
Again.
back again. But for those who are not media sickos like the rest of us, can you give us TLDR of the more recent developments that we've had with Nuzzi?
Let's see. There's so many different tentacles to this. To go back for a second to last year, there was a scandal that broke that she had some sort of intimate relationship with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., our current Secretary of Health and Human Services and all-around psycho. And she revealed a couple months ago that she had a book coming out about the whole ordeal. And that book is coming out next week. And so she started doing some press in preparation for the book launch. And then as retaliation, her ex-fiance, Ryan Lizza, who's also a journalist, started publishing his own serialized blog posts, his Substack, detailing other indiscretions that she supposedly had with sources and other politicians. And so it's just created this complete mess of ethics in journalism and who is telling the truth. It's a bad look for everyone involved and makes a lot of people look really gross.
Yeah, and she also got a job, right, at Vanity Fair.
Right. Yeah, she got hired as the West Coast editor for Vanity Fair earlier this year, much to everyone's surprise, given that it was already public what had happened last year with when she was working at New York Magazine. And then there are a bunch of ethical things within there, like she's, really good friends with the editor-in-chief of Vanity Fair's boyfriend. And so it's just like this very tangled web of like kind of elite access journalists kind of thinking that they can do whatever they want without impunity. And they're finding out that they have to answer for some of the stuff that they've done.
And meanwhile, this came at a time when Vanity Fair laid off some of their best writers.
Yeah, generally in journalism, it's a really dark time and amazing ethical writers are getting laid off left and right and struggling to make a living. And then I think that's what makes this particularly galling.
I don't usually say this, but by the time I read part 3 of the serialized, really starting to feel like very revenge porny issues that Lizza keeps putting out.
Time one of them drops, everybody is just waiting around for somebody to bite the bullet for the subscription and then post it for everybody else.
I guess it didn't hurt him too badly because I think one of the rags reported last night that his Substack posts have gotten like 745,000 views.
Let's do like a quick recap of some of the revelations that he's made, that Lizza has made in these blog posts. The first one I thought was kind of an atom bomb because this is the one where he reveals that at least he believed that there was an affair happening with former presidential candidate Mark Sanford. I heard the name Mark Sanford and I immediately thought of the Argentina affair.
Yeah, he already has a long history of scandal. Yeah. So he's just being pulled back into scandal. And it's overlapping scandals now. Yeah, what was it? He disappeared from the campaign trail for...
No, he was governor of South Carolina and nobody could find him.
He just hiking the Appalachian Trail.
Right. He said he was hiking the Appalachian Trail, but he was actually in Argentina with his mistress.
Yes.
But yeah, Lizza told the story in the first post and had you believing that it was about Nuzzi and RFK Jr. because that's the one that we had known about. And then at the end, it's like plot twist. I'm actually talking about a different presidential candidate, no matter how short-lived that run was. And that just added another layer to the mess.
Yeah. Part 2 was about RFK Jr., I believe, like the start of it. I read that and I didn't know what felching means.
I think the fact that RFK Jr. is involved makes it worse. Like, it's not that that's, I mean, on its face, whatever, people do whatever you want to do. But like thinking about RFK Jr. specifically involved there is just like the whale juice of it all.
Well, then we got to part 3.
Yeah, and I'm less and less interested in like the titillating details. Like now that I know what felching is, I can put that part of my mind in a secret vault that never gets opened again. But he is revealing very serious accusations of journalistic impropriety.
Well, the kind of revelation at the end of part 3, did you have the same takeaway? He sort of insinuated that Trump didn't get shot and that Olivia knew about it.
I thought, he was insinuating that it was staged.
Right.
That she knew something about like the true nature of what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania.
I found myself, I mean, if she did that, that's a grave beyond anything. That's handing him the election, but that's also handing him the election if Lizza sat on it for a year. Like, why would you sit on that? We really don't know how or where these allegations are based off of.
Yeah, I would say that Liz is not a trustworthy narrator in this situation either. And like Caitlin mentioned earlier, Nuzzi's getting a lot of the smoke, but Lizza looks just as bad and just in different ways. And he is talking about the story as if he is not part of the problem he's describing.
Yeah.
Which is just so, I mean, I don't know how you pride yourself on being a cultural observer and then completely remove yourself from the situation. I think he looks awful, and the more he publishes, the worse he looks.
I wanted to talk about the age gap situation. And there's several of them, I think, at play here. There was the revelation also that when Nuzzi was a teenager, she tried to launch a pop singing career and released a song called Jailbait. This is already troublesome. But then you get to, she is a late teenager, like 18, 19 years old, and she meets Keith Olbermann, who is much, much older than her.
Well, they met when she was 18, I think. He was in his early 50s at the time. Yeah, in his first little blog, he talks about Olbermann, and he talks about how he helps extricate Olivia from this bad relationship.
Yeah.
And she was 22 at the time. And somehow Olbermann took that as an invitation to take a victory lap. I don't know what your angle is here, man.
He very clearly has an attachment to this old relationship. I don't like the fact that there are so many older men in this story. Like, she was 19, Olbermann comes around. She's 22, Lizza comes around. Lizza is, at the time, was in his 40s. He's in his 50s now.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was 42 when they met. And it's
And they met around the time of his sexual misconduct allegation, which got him fired from the New Yorker.
There are a lot of scorned people involved in this situation. And so it kind of feels like they're trying to, punch their way out of a bag or whatever. Is that a saying? Did I just make that up?
Well, I made the joke. I quoted the great late Heath Ledger saying, "What does this girl have, beer-flavored nipples or something?" If you like this conversation, check out the full episode, which is on your screen now.